Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Happy Monday night, everybody. The Sports Hounds are live. Real Talk Studios, Mount E from New Jersey, A2D Radio, A2D Live, Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube. You podcast junkies, you streaming junkies out there, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on Google Play, we're on iTunes. A2D Radio is everywhere. The takeover is real. We got live reactions. Cowboys, Giants kicking off in about 20 minutes. I know Brad's excited. A lot of Philadelphia Eagles fans around the Delaware Valley. Excited. Hopefully the Cowboys, Giants do a solid tonight, Brad. But
we hope.
As always, I'm Rob Brinkman. He's Brad Ryer. Frank Vesby is producing the show. Like I said, we're going to kick it off. Live reactions. And don't forget, we can't forget our sponsors. Gibson Mara LLC. Each and every week, the Sports Hounds is brought to you by Gibson Mara LLC. Find out more about their services, GibsonMaraLLC.com. There are certified accountants. Make them yours, too. We'll get to the poll question. The poll question of the night is real simple. Poll questions brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal. 3 convenient locations. No appointment necessary. Visit SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com for more details. The Dallas Cowboys will defeat the New York Football Giants, ESPN Monday Night Football, like I said. About 15 minutes to kick off. I'm going to lead it off tonight. I just don't see how your Giants can pull the upset tonight. I think it's going to be a simple game plan. I think Zeke gets 25, 30 touches. I think Dak does some damage with the play action. I just don't see a path to victory with how bad the Giants' defense is, Brad.
I can't disagree with you there. I mean, I watched every Giant game this year, okay? The Giants' defense is terrible. They have no pass rush. When they do get a pass rush, they have to blitz. The corners have been pretty bad. The safeties have been bad. And basically, they really just – it's not necessarily the coaching on the defense. It's just a lack of talent. You know, and it's unfortunate, but this is what it is at this point. Now, they just made that trade with the Jets. They got Williams in here.
Yep, Leonard Williams.
For a third and a fifth, and if they re-sign Williams, a fourth.
Really the only trade that went down on deadline day.
Now, I get it, okay, because one thing Williams is very good at is stopping the run. He is good at pushing with the pass rush. He's not good at sacking the quarterback, but he does get pressure, and he pushes the line back. Now, that's good because at least somebody is going to do that. But, you know, he's going to basically have to pick up the Snacks Harrison role in stopping the run because Zeke really has had his way with the Giants, you know, in the last couple of years.
Well, Zeke has his way with everyone, so there's really no shame in that.
Yeah,
the guy's an absolute monster.
I understand that, but the problem is, I mean, you know, he has his way, and then if they put 8 guys up in the line of scrimmage, then you have to worry about Randall Cobb, Amari Cooper.
Michael Gallup active and back tonight.
Yeah, and Gallup just destroyed the Giants in the first game of the season. I believe he had like 180 yards receiving and 2 or 3 touchdowns. I mean, the Giants just couldn't. They had no answer for him. I think the Giants are going to score some points tonight. I mean, Daniel Jones has played pretty well as a quarterback. I read this morning that he right now he's ranked number 22 in the league. Now, if you want to make of that's not very good. Okay, it's not very good, but you know what? This is his first season. Okay, and what is this, his 6th game?
I was at the Eagles game yesterday and
watched
the travesty that is Mitchell Trubisky up close and personal, and Daniel Jones is better than Mitchell Trubisky now.
Let me ask you a question, okay? And you guys are going to get to see Daniel Jones tonight, okay? So you'll be able to get the full effect here, okay? And after watching Daniel Jones, I'm gonna put it to you this way, okay? Would you rather have Baker Mayfield? Would you rather have Jake? What's his name? Rosen. Rosen.
Jared.
What? Rosen.
Rosen. What's his first? Jake. What is it,
Josh.
Jake.
Josh.
Rosen.
Josh Rosen. The guy in the Redskins. What's his name?
Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins. You look at these guys, okay, and they're not good. Sam Darnold, they're not good. So you know what? I know a lot of people were criticizing the Giants last year for not taking a quarterback with the third pick of the draft. I'm sorry, the second pick of the draft because they took Saquon instead. You know, you get a superstar running back, and then you get your quarterback the next year. I happen to think Daniel Jones is pretty good, especially from what I've seen. What he does is what most rookie quarterbacks do. He makes the big mistake at the wrong time, and that's a problem. But I'll tell you what, last week against the Lions, in the first quarter, he made that horrible lateral to Saquon Barkley, but that was partially Barkley's fault too because he didn't run after the ball. Detroit picked it in and ran it in for a touchdown. But you know what? After that, he threw 4 touchdown passes. So was he real? And for over 300 yards. So was he really that bad? No, he's actually pretty darn good. And the Lions have a pretty good defense. You know, and he's had some good games. He's had some rough games. But in all fairness to him, Sterling Shepard's been out. Barkley's missed a few games.
He will miss the game tonight.
Yes, he will.
As well.
Barkley's missed a few games. Evan Ingram had missed a few games. So really all his weapons were taken away. I like what I've seen out of him. He can run a little bit. He can go back there and prolong plays. He really is accurate. I mean, that's one thing. And he can throw into tight spaces. He makes real nice passes. He's just got to avoid forcing the ball in there. That's something that he'll learn. But, you know, as a rookie quarterback, that's what they do. Listen, the way the Giants have to win this game tonight is they have to do something that they haven't been able to do the last 3 games, and that's not fall behind in the first quarter. I believe the last 3 games they've been outscored 38-0. That cannot happen tonight against the Cowboys. If they do that against the Cowboys, they'll lose the game like 34-10. You know, that can't happen because then Zeke is going to get the ball and he's just going to run it down their throats and they'll never see the ball. So the Giants need to get ahead of the Cowboys. They need to. Their defense is going to need to make some big plays. They can't let the Cowboys get these 30, 40, 50-yard gains on them. The first game, which was the opening game of the season, the Cowboys just killed them with those plays, with the long plays, particularly to Gallup. That has to stop. And we'll see what happens. I think the Giants are going to cover the spread tonight. I think they'll keep it close. So you
like the Giants plus it's 6.5.
Yeah, I like the Giants. I like the Cowboys in a close one.
Cowboys in a close one. I think first down is really big for the Giants tonight. First down, you know, get 4, 5, 6 yards, feature Barkley, you know, keep the kid, Daniel Jones, in manageable situations. Don't put him second and long, third and long.
Barkley has to have the ball at least 20 times tonight.
At least.
Yeah, he's got to have his hands on the ball at least 20 times. You got to get Evan Ingram involved. Very important. Don't forget about him. This kid Slayton, who's a rookie.
Yeah. Darius Slayton out of West Virginia.
He's been a really good addition.
2
to
touchdown
the team.
catches last week
did.
against the Detroit Lions.
Tate seems to be picking it up the last couple of weeks. They've been okay. I mean, if they had Sterling Shepard, I think the Giants might be able to pull off the upset. I just don't see it though. It's going to be too hard. The Cowboys are a good football team. As much as I can't stand them, and as much as
they're very talented.
Yeah, as much as I would love to see somebody pick up Dak Prescott and basically pile drive him into the ground, it's not going to happen with the Giants.
Yeah,
they have no pass rush. So,
and as you mentioned, Week 1, the Cowboys. This was in Dallas, 35-17 victory. Dak Prescott, 405 yards passing. Zeke Elliott, first game after his holdout, only had 53 yards rushing. And Michael Gallup, as you mentioned, led the Cowboys with 158 yards.
Oh, it was 158? Okay, I thought it was 180.
158
it felt
yards
like,
receiving.
It felt like 100. How many touchdowns did he have? 2? 3?
A couple.
Okay.
But
yeah.
that's recollection. I only have the yardage leaders here.
He just the Giants had no answer for him.
But this is kind of a must-win. Like the Cowboys, they're coming off a bye,
Oh, this is a must-win for
which
the Cowboys.
should help them. But, it could not. Maybe they start slow.
Well, I'll tell you
That's
what.
the Giants. That's the Giants.
The Giants. That's the Giants' trademark, though. Lately, is starting slow, and as I said, the Giants have to make sure they don't get behind again. I mean, this is something that they've been doing. It seems like for the last 3 weeks, they've been getting hammered. And the one thing the Cowboys have done extremely well this year is the third quarter. And you got to, as much as we all hate Jason Garrett, I got to give him some props because you know what? I believe they've outscored their opponents. In the last few weeks, I believe they've scored 58 straight points in the third quarter.
Well, yeah, they jumped on the Eagles.
Yeah, they've been just unbelievable.
They rallied late against the Packers and the Jets.
Yeah, no, they've been real good in the third quarter this year, and that's another thing that the Giants are going to have to be careful of is the way that team comes out in the third quarter. It's pretty. There's a good reason why it happens. They beat up the other team by giving the ball to Zeke, and he wears down the defense. And by the middle of the third quarter, the defense is tired, and that's basically how the Cowboys win. And that they have that big, nasty offensive line, and they're very physical, and that's why the Giants have got to be able, as you said, to be good on first down, control the ball, and not let the Cowboys have their way. They just can't do it. They can't let the Cowboys have the football and control the game.
Frank's excited over there. What's wrong, Frank? What's going on?
Nothing's wrong. It's just
Tiger Woods fist pumping over there.
I'm just checking my fantasy, and the win has been clinched because
that idiot didn't take Sterling Shepard out of his lineup.
Well, do you want to take a guess on who the idiot
That's
is?
a total violation.
You want to take a guess on who forgot to change his
Kyle?
receiver?
Wilder.
No.
Kyle.
Hi, Greg. You
Oh,
forgot to
Greg.
change your receiver. Now you lose. Ah!
Malakovic didn't do his lineup.
You didn't change your lineup.
Oh, it's a total violation.
You had the chance to beat me.
That's the worst.
Big dummy.
Oh my God! He didn't do his lineup.
How do you do that?
What is he doing? He's engaged. I mean,
Oh, man.
oh my goodness gracious!
How do you do that?
It was his birthday the other day. Maybe he's still drying out.
Oh,
He had
yeah,
too
but
much
how,
to drink.
But how can you not know that?
I
though?
don't know.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Greg fucked up.
Sterling Shepard hasn't played in weeks. This is nothing new.
That's a good point, Brad.
This is nothing new. I mean, I could understand if this was
Perhaps collusion.
This happened if it was a last minute thing, but Sterling Shepard's been out. This is his fourth straight week. He's
That's
missing.
the worst, though. That's the worst, though, when guys don't do their lineup in the fantasy league.
But what drives me up a ramp even more is when you show up for the draft, when you sign up and you don't show up to the draft. Auto drafting. That pisses
That's
me
another
off
one,
more.
too.
Ugh, that's a violation. as
And
well.
I'm too busy. Like, what do you mean? You
Right.
can't open the app for 5 seconds and read the player report?
Exactly.
Like, if they don't have a red injury designation,
Yeah.
you don't have to
Right.
do anything. But we digress. It's a poor job by Greg.
Greg,
job.
Greg. I'm ashamed.
Greg.
That's
had
crumb,
a-
that's
you
crumb
had-
of the week material.
You
in my
had
opinion.
the chance to beat me.
I fell asleep before they did the crumb of the week last night on Agree to Disagree, but I bet you at least 2 of them picked me over my criticism of Doug Peterson yesterday.
You're not the crumb of the week for criticizing Doug Peterson yesterday.
No. Let me finish up with this schedule because the Dallas Cowboys can ill afford a loss. We talked about it the last 2 weeks, how the easy part of their schedule is over, and you got the Giants tonight. This has to be a win, get them to 5-3. And you got Minnesota at home, at Detroit, at New England, Buffalo at home. The Bears stink; they'll win that. The Rams is a tough game at the Eagles, and you close out with the Redskins.
Rams and Eagles
That's
are
a
gonna
tough
be,
stretch.
The Rams and Eagles are going to be tough, and the Vikings are going to be tough too. I mean, I
At
wouldn't
New
be,
England, that's a loss.
Yeah, no, it's that the New England game's a loss. The Viking game, I mean,
a
look
hard
at
game.
this! Look at this! Son of a gun! The New York Giants.
What's that, a turnover?
With an interception, Janoris.
Wow.
Janoris, the Jackrabbit
Janoris
Jenkins.
Jackrabbit.
Wow.
gets the
I hate this.
interception.
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this shit. Every time you make a play, you got to run to the end zone like a bunch of jabrones and do it. So I hate when the Eagles. I hate when anybody does it, especially when the Giants or the Cowboys do it. That's a pick.
I do it
What
for
is
the
Wow, that was a
salt.
nice pass by.
Well, we talked about
Prescott.
Dallas maybe coming out slow after the bye week. I mean, that's a poor throw by Dak
no, that
Prescott.
wasn't Jadoris, by the way.
Who was it? New
Uh,
guy?
That is
Antoine Bethea.
the old man.
The
Wow.
veteran play. Yeah, there's no way Janoris Jenkins would make a play that way.
No.
Now the Giants are set up inside the 10-yard line.
Let's see
Yep.
what-
And, boy, would this be a gift for Eagles Nation here.
and look at this.
And I
Right
am
to the-
keeping an eye
right up
on
the middle
some of the
to the
fantasy
4-yard
here.
line.
I'm in a league with Ralph, and Ralph
Did Ralph do his lineup?
did his lineup. He has both.
Did do
he
his
has
lineup.
he has Zeke and Amari Cooper
Okay, now if I'm the Giants,
on his
Rob,
lineup.
if I'm the Giants, I am giving the ball to Barkley 3 times in a row. I'm
Yeah, go
handing
for it on
off.
4th down. Go for it.
No, I don't know if I would do that, but I'd be handing
Why?
the
What
ball
have you got
off.
to lose? What are you going to fall out of last place?
Well, let's see where the 4th down
Go
is.
for it on 4th down. Stick it up their ass
It's only
early.
second down.
We just talked about how they have to start fast. You get a
No, but
turnover.
it's only
You got to
second
punch
down.
this in.
Okay,
Go Saquon.
That's nothing much doing there.
2 yards. So now they're on the 2-yard line. It's 3rd and goal.
What about getting Barkley on
How
the
about
edge?
a fake? How about a fake to Barkley
What
up
about
the
a
middle?
pitch
And
or something?
Daniel Jones runs a bootleg into the end
A
zone.
bootleg,
Ooh.
offensive coordinator calling a
Danny
bootleg.
Dimes bootleg.
Oh, Danny can fly. I'm telling you, Danny can
He
run
is
the ball.
he is an athlete. I
Yeah.
underestimated his
We did.
athleticism.
He can run
coming
the ball,
out of Duke.
especially to the
See
right.
what happens. Big play. 3rd and goal. Danny Dimes.
Come on, Danny Dimes.
He's got 4 guys out in the I don't think he's going to run a bootleg.
See, that's a decoy move,
Yeah.
splitting Barkley out wide there.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, man.
Oh.
Kind of had him. He had to rush it, but I'm going for it here if I'm the Giants.
Nah, you can't do that. You've got to put points on the board.
I don't know.
Nah.
I'm
We'll
see what
trying.
they do.
You got to
Giants
get.
have to-
You got to get 7 here.
Nah, you got to get points on the board. He got clobbered.
Yeah.
I'm going for
Look
it.
at this. Look at this shot. I mean, oh my
Phew.
goodness gracious. Oh,
I would go for it here.
could somebody have blocked Heath?
Yeah.
I mean, could somebody block somebody? It's just. Here's Rosas now to give the Giants an early 3-0
All right, let's get
lead.
to some comments before we go around the rest of the NFL. And Rojas kicks it through. We got a 3-0 Giants lead off the big turnover by Dak Prescott.
Yep.
Dallas defense doing a good job not giving up the touchdown there, not letting it get out of hand on the road from a momentum standpoint. So continue. Andy Ritter checks in. Have a great show. Andy Ritter, that's in this very ring every Sunday night at 5 here on A2D Live. Dion Brown checks in. What's good, fellas? I'm a Giants fan only for tonight and tonight only. Mentally, I'm there, even though I can't say it out loud, Dion. But, yeah, I mean, Dallas losing tonight would go a long way into helping
Oh,
the
yeah.
Eagles
we
win
have
the division.
we have a Cowboy fan here, Harlem Cowboy.
Oh, boy.
Here we go,
man.
fellas.
My
How about
best
them
friend ever.
Cowboys?
Ralph Delavecchio,
we
have
just
a
to
great
pump-
show.
We just have
Now,
to
are you
pump
playing?
them
Are
like
you
we
playing
pump the
Ralph in
birds.
fantasy?
I am not playing Ralph. I was playing Greg this week.
Oh, it's all the same league.
Yeah, it's on the same, somewhat
Yeah, I
in the
guess
same league.
Guess
Yeah.
the Sports Hounds invitation got lost in the mail on that one.
You have to ask the league owner for that
I
one.
plan on it.
Yeah.
I play. You didn't think I was going to do it. I'm going to take him up on it.
All right.
After I figure out who is it. Tom?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. He does a show. That's all I know.
Oh, he does a show.
He does a
Thanks.
show.
It's the A2D League, Frank.
One of the A2D
I'll
leagues.
figure it out. I'll use my investigative journalism
Yeah.
skills, and
It's somebody.
it's somebody.
It's
Thanks.
somebody.
Well, you need to represent the show and do good.
I know.
All right, what kind of team you got?
What, my team?
Yeah.
All right. So I have.
What's your record first?
I am 5-3. My team
right.
is Mother Bleepin' Ben McAdoo. Because
That's nice for Brad.
because
he hates Ben McAdoo.
you know if you lose to
Should
Ben
be Ben-
McAdoo,
Ben McAdope.
how demoralizing will it be if you lose to Ben McAdoo?
Yeah,
All right, so run down your optimal lineup.
All right, so my usual lineup, my current lineup right now for this week, I have Aaron Rodgers, Christian McCaffrey,
Oh well, that's good.
jeez.
That's a good one.
Dalvin Cook.
Oh
Your
man,
running
you're
backs
loaded
are-
at running back.
I got the running backs. My wide receivers,
I was looking at this. This
He's
girl,
got two
this
Yeah.
girl in the parking lot at the
outstanding
Eagles
running
game
backs.
yesterday.
Yeah.
I was looking at her team, and she had the exact same three players.
Yeah,
I
How
told
do
her.
you end up
I
getting
told her to
those
put
three?
Deshaun Jackson in over Jamal Williams.
yeah.
even though her
Ooh.
friend was right next to us saying she didn't trust Deshaun Jackson. He's going to play one play.
Yeah.
Her friend was right. But, I had a couple beers in me. I was fired up. I thought Deshaun was going to do something.
Now my wide receivers, I'm not
Well,
too thrilled with them.
you got to take a little drop there with those three.
I
guys.
got
You gotta
Allen
have-
Robinson, Marvin Jones, Mike Williams, and then I have a few more
Mike
on my
Williams
bench.
got hurt yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't start him.
Marvin Jones is a good
Yeah, I
receiver.
have him, and then on my bench I got Mike Williams, Hollywood Brown, Robbie Anderson, Corey Davis, Devontae Parker.
So you need a trade for a receiver.
Yeah,
You have big time tight end.
my tight end is George Kittle.
Okay.
Oh, he's very
Yeah.
good.
He just had minor
He
knee
had a
operation
monster
as well.
game. He had
Yeah.
a monster game
My
on
defense is
Thursday.
the Panthers, and my kicker right now is Josh Lambo.
Okay.
I
5-3.
had the Panthers. I had 3 pay leagues I'm in. Panthers defense, I think I had in 2 of them.
Yeah,
A nice little 12-pointer there yesterday.
they did.
All right, Rob Povia checks in. Go Cowboys.
Ew.
Ugh, that's gross. But
Cowboys.
uh,
So he's a Met fan and a Cowboy fan?
yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure how that works.
That would be a Rob
you got
Povia
some-
question.
Son, you got some splaining to do. That's the Giant defense I know.
Yep,
Let's see.
that's Gallup, I
Gallup.
believe, as well.
Of course it is.
Big
They can't
gainer
cover
here.
him.
John Burke checks in. Brad's mic isn't working well.
Well, we fixed it.
We're good.
Does
All
it
right.
work
That's
better
why
now?
It works
Frank-
better now.
Okay.
That's why Frank gets
Came
the
off a
big
little bit
bucks.
quiet
Bob
when we
Brinkman, go
went live.
Giants. Thomas checks in. I'll take the Giants plus the 6.5. Yeah, I mean, it's a little. I mean, I know kickoff. We didn't really go over the gambling
Yeah.
portion of it. You said you like the Giants to cover.
Yeah.
I'll lay the 6, even down 3-0. I'll still lay the 6.5, 7
Yeah,
points,
I think the
whatever
Giants
it
will
is,
keep it close.
with the boys here.
Let's see.
I'm just
there's
not
a pass
buying it.
to
I mean-
Witten.
well,
looks like-
I'm not gonna buy anything with the Giants.
Their
'cause
defense is
so bad.
tragic.
Yeah, it's
And John Burke, he's rooting for the Giants as well. So, Eagles and Giants fans joining together
Yeah.
for a
Well,
common
we
enemy.
all-
To
listen,
stop
we
the
all-
star.
We all
Was it
hate
the enemy of my enemy is my friend? Is
Yeah.
what they say.
Yeah. Listen,
That's what we got going on tonight.
We all hate the Cowboys. That's
They stink.
yeah. We all hate.
They're the
Cowboys.
worst. The worst.
Their fans are the most fair-weather, disgusting fans in the NFL.
Another one, a Witten.
I mean, all I can
They
say
seem
is,
to be cooking now.
All
Yeah.
I'm gonna say about Cowboy fans is if you're not from Texas, don't give me this bullshit that you're a Cowboy fan. You're a fair-weather cockroach. Go fuck yourselves.
And then Cool P19. I'm going with the Giants. Giants got some fight. This is a division game, and it could go either way. It is a rivalry game.
Yeah, if you're from Philly, you should be rooting for the Eagles, not the Cowboys. Okay? If you're from New York and you're rooting for the Cowboys to beat the Giants, you're an asshole.
You're a crumb. Yeah.
You're an asshole. You
You're
know what?
total
You either
crumb.
root for the Giants or the Jets. Don't give me this. Ooh, I root
Yeah.
for the Cowboys.
No,
No,
my
no,
my
no,
favorite.
Star.
Yeah.
No,
I
no,
fell in
you're-
love with the
you're a
star.
big-
Yeah, I
You're
like
a-
stars, so I
You're
like the
big-
Cowboys.
You're a fair-weather cockroach wimp, okay, who deserves to go to the game and get kicked in the face. That's what you deserve, okay? Unless you're from Texas, I don't want to hear about your Cowboy fandom, okay? You're banned from commenting on this page.
No, they can comment.
They can comment.
They can comment.
They're just anticipating. They're just not looking forward to the bashing afterwards.
Oh,
Well, they run and hide if they lose.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. of
Well, they're
course.
cooking now. Zeke
Yeah.
Elliott, 2 big runs in a row. He had some play action to Witten.
Well,
Cowboys are
the
off and
touchdown,
running. I mean,
the touchdown is coming. We know that.
unfortunately, I
it's
think the
not-
Cowboys are going to be fine.
Yeah, well,
All right.
Again, if the Giants got to play against their defense, they'd be pretty good too.
And Greg,
By the way, that was a whole
aforementioned fantasy crumb, Greg Milakovic, checks in. What's up, fellas? Agree to the poll. Coming off the bye, rested and prepared. I'll take the win. All right. Let's go around the NFL. Let's start with the Eagles yesterday. I was at the game. I had a front row seat to I'm searching for a word to describe it. An unfulfilling win, in my opinion. Nothing about that game instilled any confidence in that team, in the Eagles, going forward. And I think Doug Peterson has been horrible this season. And I thought he was horrible yet again yesterday. From the slow starts, the whole season, he can't seem to get the
Well,
right
they got
running.
off to a fast start yesterday.
Did they, though?
Well, they were moving the ball.
6-0 when you have the ball inside the 5 twice. That's a fast start. I disagree.
They were moving the ball.
Yeah, they've
And
run
their
the ball down.
defense-
They were running down the ball,
And
running
their
the
defense,
ball down the throat of the Chicago
Their
Bears.
defense only gave up 9 yards total in the first half. I mean,
Yeah, but what am
they
I
almost
supposed
threw
to?
a perfect game.
Okay, I get it, but
But I understand what you're saying because the Bears
what am I supposed to
don't
expect?
have the talent. They don't have the talent. To
No,
take
they're like
advantage
the
of
Bills.
Eagles' problems.
Uh-oh.
Another
Oh,
drop by
dropped it.
Dak is looking like Dak.
Wow.
Oops.
Look at Giants Nation. Getting back to the Eagles and Doug Peterson. This is by far his worst coaching job since becoming the Eagles coach. And the problem is he doesn't have offensive and defensive coordinators and position coaches that complement his weaknesses like Frank Reich, DiFilippo did in 2017. Deuce Staley is not a good running backs coach. If he is responsible for this running back rotation, then he shouldn't have a job. And
I blame.
And I commend them for
Look
winning.
at this. I mean, how are you that wide open?
It's a flag. And I commend the Eagles for winning yesterday. They played a bad team, a really, really bad team in the Chicago Bears, and they won. You go up 19-0, and it should be a coach job. The game should have been over in the first 30 minutes. 1:30, the game should have been over. You get the ball inside the 5. Jordan Howard,
14-0.
Jordan Howard, inexplicably standing next to Deuce Staley and Doug Peterson on 2nd and 3 from the 3.
Offsetting penalties doesn't count.
Same with the next drive. Jordan Howard runs him right down the field. You get 3rd and goal from the 2 or 3 yard line, and you throw some ridiculous bubble screen to Miles Sanders. It's just a comedy of errors. Red zone play calling was terrible. The receivers are just a disaster on this team right now. For whatever reason, Mike Groh, Doug Peterson, and whoever the quarterback coach with this team can't get in sync with Carson. Yesterday was really their first fast start of the season.
Yeah,
and I can't even really
a lousy second half.
And
same play, incomplete.
And I can't even say that they started fast because 6-0 when you had the ball inside the 5 twice. You know, that's not really starting fast in my opinion. You should have been up 14-0. The game should have been over right there because the Bears had nothing on offense. Nothing.
No, they were terrible. I mean, 9 yards in the first
and then,
half.
You know, you get Howard gets 5 carries for 35 yards, getting 5, 6, 7 yards a pop, and then you got to do the
then
partition.
you get that fluky play in the third quarter where Gabriel caught the bomb, and then all of a sudden the Bears started playing football.
Right. Well, that's what happens.
That's what happens when you keep kicking field goals all the time.
And that's what happens when you let a bad team hang around.
Yes.
They're going to find their niche eventually. Everyone in the NFL is talented. Even Mitchell Trubisky, just coaching and miscellaneous factors determine who wins games. Coaching. But, you know, I don't understand the running back rotation. I don't understand why Darren Sproles is in the running back rotation. If you want to have Darren Sproles return punts, that's fine. I have no time for Darren Sproles in a running back rotation when I have Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard as my 2 workhorse running backs. Jordan Howard's the best player on the team. Offense, defense.
Jordan Howard, they basically finally replaced Blunt.
He is on his way to the Pro Bowl, in my opinion. And I don't understand what this offensive coaching staff has against Jordan Howard where they can't just let him go. I don't understand why he starts the game so quick and then you don't see him again until the middle of the second quarter. And I hate being like this, folks. I really do. I sound like a crumb. I feel like a crumb for talking like this, talking so negatively about a team that just won yesterday, 5-4 going into the bye. But nothing about that win yesterday, Brad, instills any confidence in me
Rob,
that they can get to 10 wins and win this division.
Here's the key, okay? And folks, you have to look at – I understand what Rob is saying here. What he's trying to tell you guys is this, okay? The way they played yesterday, okay, particularly offensively, okay, do you think – and we've seen their secondary, okay, do you think that this team can win 2 out of 3 against the 3 following teams, the Seattle Seahawks, the Dallas Cowboys, and the New England Patriots? Because what it's going to come down to is this,
Well,
Okay,
they're gonna
they're
get
gonna run.
creamed.
They're gonna run the table against the other
I
five
hope so.
teams because they're playing the Giants twice, the Redskins,
And the Dolphins.
and the Dolphins. Okay,
I got news for you. If they play like they did yesterday against the Dolphins, a team that's bad, yes, but they're playing for their coach and they're trying their best. They're not rolling over. They would have lost.
They're not. No.
They played like they did yesterday and coached like they did yesterday.
No,
and
they'll
were
beat
out
the
of sync like they were yesterday.
No,
I wouldn't put it past the Dolphins jumping up and
they're
beating them.
not. They're not. That's not going to happen. But the bottom line is this: okay, if you want to get to 10 wins, and I'm telling you right now, if you want to get to 10 wins, you've got to win 2 of those 3 games, and one of those wins has to be against the Dallas Cowboys.
You're not going to win the division getting
cannot-
swept by the Dallas
Yeah,
Cowboys.
you cannot.
No.
You're not going to make the wild card at 10-6 this year.
No.
Okay, because
not
the-
with
You've got
Seattle 7-2.
the Rams, and the Vikings are all very, very good ball clubs.
Vikings.
Okay, and the
mean,
Vikings. By the way, the Vikings have have the tiebreaker with you because they won that one game.
Yes, they have the tiebreaker.
So that in itself is a big problem.
10 wins could get you a wild card, but it won't get the Eagles the wild card because they have tiebreaker problems.
Exactly. That's what I'm
I mean, I have the tiebreaker over Green Bay.
Well, and again, the Seattle thing. Okay, if they lose to Seattle, that's another team that they won't
it's
have
another
the tiebreaker. Okay, most likely Green Bay is probably going to win the division. I mean, I would still favor them to win the division. I mean, listen, the Chargers are a good team who's just been underachieving. You knew at some
they're getting
point,
healthy and
you knew at some point that Bosa and company were going to dominate, and yesterday they dominated. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was under siege that game. Speaking of siege, how about the Ravens last night?
Yeah, and that presents a huge problem for the Philadelphia Eagles because their next game is in 2 weeks against the Patriots. The Patriots have a bye this week. They're going to be all pissed off because they lost their like the Patriots. They lose a game every fiscal quarter.
Pretty much, yeah.
They lose a game, and that was their fiscal quarter loss.
Yeah,
and
every blue
lose.
moon.
They don't lose 2 games in a row past the month of October.
No.
November, December,
No.
January.
Now you guys are going to get
There's
them.
no such thing as a losing streak in Foxborough.
No.
The
Now
Eagles
you're-
are going to get creamed by the Patriots in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
they're going to
they're
get
gonna be-
absolutely creamed.
They're going to be angry. The Patriots are going to be
They're
angry.
coming off a loss. They have a bye week. And if you think Tom Brady and Bill Belichick forgot what happened in Super Bowl 52, you're a damn fool. I've never seen a coach-quarterback combination with a competitive edge like the Patriots have. They remember.
Absolutely.
They remember what happened in that game, and they're going to be loaded for bear. And the Eagles are going to get creamed, especially with their current receiving situation. Deshaun Jackson plays 2 plays yesterday, goes back in the locker room, tears his abdominal core muscle off the bone. He's got to get surgery. He's out for the season. Alshon Jeffrey had 3 drops yesterday. He looks old. He looks washed up, and he also got injured in the game yesterday. That left you down the stretch against the Bears yesterday. You had 3 wide receiver sets featuring Nelson Aguilar, Mac Hollins, and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, which isn't going to get it done at all in this league. What's a passing league? You're just hanging Carson out to dry.
Especially against an outstanding
I'm just talking about it. I don't care if you're playing the Dolphins, the Redskins, or the Giants. That receiving core is not going to get it done.
No,
Period.
But their
End of
offensive
story.
line, but the
The
Eagles'
offensive line played tremendous yesterday.
and I'll tell you what, props to the kid who took care
Andre
of
Dillard.
Dillard, who did an outstanding job on Mac yesterday. I mean, that was sensational.
Well,
that should be interference. Come on, ran right up his back. Well, whatever.
But then Doug at the press conference says that, Dillard played great, but when Jason Peters is healthy, he's going to be the left tackle. You got to let your first-round pick play. This is why you're the oldest team in the league, because this organization refuses to turn the page on these veterans. That I don't know if they feel that they owe Jason Peters and Darren Sproles something because they weren't active in that Super Bowl victory.
Rob,
but Jason Peters and Darren Sproles not only wouldn't have playing time in New England, they wouldn't even be on the roster. They would turn the page on the paycheck of Jason Peters, the age of Jason Peters, the lack of athleticism for Jason Peters, and they would play their first-round pick. And they wouldn't have a player who has clearly, in my eyes, lost a step at the running back position, Darren Sproles. These teams would have cut bait with these guys. They would have been ruthless. But Howie Roseman and this organization doesn't seem willing to make the tough decisions and make the tough decisions and turn the page on these veterans. This is why they have the oldest team in the league.
Well, you know what? They've got to take a cue from the Seattle Seahawks. Okay? Seattle let a lot of good players go. They let a lot of good players go. And you know what?
Thomas, Richard Sherman.
Do you think it was easy for them to get rid of Richard Sherman? Or Earl Thomas?
Really good player.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, nobody likes to get rid of these guys, but you have to do it. It's part of the NFL, and you have to draft and you have to get good players to replace your older players. If you don't, then you're going to end up being the Giants. It's that simple. Then you're going to have an awful team and you're going to have to rebuild, and that's just the way it is. By the way, the Giants just went 3-and-out, which is definitely not the way to go. Although I do think that 3rd down and 11 pass was it was interference because he ran up the guy's back. But whatever, they're not going to call that, and you can't challenge pass interference because the officials refuse.
Well,
to
what a
change the call.
non-rule that is, though.
Yeah, well, you know
Like
what?
it's a rule, yeah, but they never overturn it.
No,
And
never.
coaches have figured it out after the first couple weeks that it's not even worth challenging because you're just going to lose your timeout.
Yeah, because they refused to do anything about it. So, I mean, they have that rule in place. So if it's something outrageous, they can change the call because of what happened
Right.
with New Orleans and Los Angeles last year. But I mean, if it wasn't for the inadequacy of the referees, they wouldn't have this in the first place. But because of the do you like that word? The inadequacy of the referees, they had to do that. And it's a shame, but that's it.
All right, let's go around the NFL, but you get to the Eagles. I mean, you want to echo the win's a win and wins are tough to come by in this league. That's fine. If that makes you sleep well at night, like as an Eagles fan, that's fine. I'll tell you that not all wins are created equal in this league. The Eagles should have showed a lot better, especially to start against the Chicago Bears. I would give Doug Peterson a failing grade as the Philadelphia Eagles head coach this season. A failing grade between the slow starts, which have been existent the entire season, except for, the whole season. They've started every game kind of slow. His inability to get on the same page with his franchise quarterback. His inability to commit to Jordan Howard as an every down back. And the running back rotation.
His play calling's been pretty darn bad, too.
His play calling's been terrible. The fake field goal against the Minnesota Vikings was atrocious. And the whole Dallas debacle from Monday when he guaranteed victory, backpedaled all week, and then got his ass kicked in the game by Jason Garrett was totally unacceptable. Then he finally finds a formula that works with the talent that he does have in Buffalo, and it's like that game didn't even happen yesterday. He runs very little 21 personnel, if any. He's in shotgun the whole game. It's just like what are we doing? Like, why don't we form an identity here coming into November and down the stretch? You have all these teams that have identities, and I really don't want to hear about. You got to get Sanders touches. You got to have, Goddard touches and Ertz touches. Because I watched the game last night, the Ravens and the Patriots, Brad.
Yeah.
The Patriots have a running back by committee. They have Sony Michel and James White. It's evident they're two totally different backs. Sony Michel, between the tackle, not much of a receiver. Kind of a grinded-out running back. James White, kind of the
he's the quick scat back,
quickness scat back, receiving back, and they don't have any.
You can sneak him up the middle on occasion.
Yeah, they don't have problems getting those two guys their fair share of touches in a given game. I've seen multiple times
because they do it strategically.
But
That's the whole
I've
point.
seen multiple times this year where James White's been split out wide as a receiver.
They still have that guy Hogan on the team.
No, they have Burkhead who goes in sometimes.
Okay.
But I mean,
Okay. I mean, I know Amendola's gone.
no,
They
have
still have
Sanu, Edelman, N'Keal Harry's off IR. I didn't really see him much last night. Yeah, and that's it. Josh Gordon's gone. Benjamin Watson's their tight end. But my point is,
Josh Gordon's on the Seahawks now,
the
right?
Seahawks now, yes, via waivers, which I don't know how he was on that. I get he's a dickhead. I get he got some problems off the field, but he's better than J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. He's better than Matt Collins. I'll tell you that much. I know that for sure.
It is kind of strange that the Eagles have not tried to get that the Eagles did not make any effort to.
No, because
improve a
Howie's
wide
stubborn.
receiver.
Howie and Doug are stubborn, and they think they can get it done with Matt Collins and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside because they banked on Deshaun coming back healthy, which was stupid because he's clearly had a sports hernia since week 2.
And Aguilar.
But getting back to the personnel
Aguilar's
groups,
gone backwards a little bit.
with the Ravens have 3 tight ends in Nick Boyle, Mark Andrews, and Hayden Hurst, and they have 3 running backs, Mark Ingram, Gus Edwards, and Justice Hill, the rookie out of Oklahoma State. They get the ball, they spread the love fine. They win games, they score points, they gain yards, they move the chains, and they don't totally disregard any one player. But our guy Doug, he can't seem to figure out how to get Jordan Howard when he's cooking in the zone, and without disregarding Miles Sanders, he just figured out how to get Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert on the field at the same time. You know what? You got to split Miles Sanders out wide. You got to get creative. You got to put Miles Sanders in the slot, maybe. You got to put Zach Ertz or Goddard in the slot, maybe. You got to use what you got.
They got it. Yeah, they do. They do. They're not mixed. I mean,
but they don't. It's so frustrating to watch how I don't understand what they do all week, and I hate that I have to talk like this about my Eagles after a win like this. But I was not impressed. It was sickening. Honestly, it felt like they lost yesterday to me. Well, I walked out of the stadium with my head down like they lost.
Defensively,
I was not.
You have to be happy. You have to be happy.
How am I? Why should I be happy?
Well, the first
they played
half,
Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears.
But the first half they were really good. I mean that was
okay.
What they were able to do in the first half, that was championship level defense. I mean, 9 yards.
It's not because it's against an awful team. Awful.
I get that.
That's not championship level defense when you play a team that bad.
But the Bears should be able to run the football a little bit better.
But the Bears, this David Montgomery guy.
The Bears have no offense.
Well, the Bears have egg on their face because they let Jordan Howard go for a 5th round pick, and they picked this kid David Montgomery out of Iowa State, who I actually liked coming out of the draft. I thought the Eagles should have taken a look at him. He's not that great. And Tariq Cohen
has been MIA this year.
He's not that good.
He wasn't bad last year.
He's a poor man's Darren Sproles. Well, it's hard for them to get going when their quarterback's that bad.
He is.
But I'm supposed to be impressed yesterday by that defense when you're playing Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah,
and I'm supposed to be confident after the last 2 weeks after beating a relatively, extremely average Buffalo Bills team and a bad Bears team.
Well, no. I get that. And that's the problem. Your secondary is tailor-made to get ripped by the next 2 teams you play. That's the problem.
Well, Jalen Mills has actually helped a lot. He's actually playing really well. But we digress. I don't know. I just don't have confidence that this team, especially with Deshaun officially out for the season and Jeffrey banged up, that they're going to be able to move the ball on offense well enough to be able to stick with the Patriots. By the way,
did you notice who just put a ton of pressure?
Is that Leonard?
Prescott. That was Williams. Yes.
Leonard Williams.
Yeah, I mean he hit Prescott and he forced him into a bad pass.
But with the Eagles, I just don't have any confidence that they're going to be able to move the ball. And
55, no good.
No good, 55-yard. He makes 60-yarders against the Eagles, but he can't make that. So 3-3.
And Giants are hanging in there.
They're hanging in. We'll see. Like you said, Dallas third-quarter team. But I don't have
That's the scary part.
The last thing about the Eagles who go around the NFL is I don't have any confidence they're going to be able to move the ball consistently against the Patriots, Seahawks, or Cowboys. And quite frankly, I don't have any confidence that Doug can outcoach Bill Belichick, outcoach Pete Carroll, and outcoach Jason Garrett, Kellen Moore, whoever's running the show down there in Dallas. I don't have any confidence. If that makes me a crumb talking like this about a loss, then I'll be a crumb. That's fine.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Dallas plays as sloppily against the Eagles as they are against the Giants tonight, you may be in good shape.
I mean, what is it, midway through the first quarter? I mean, let's just...
Well, Dallas has had 3 possessions, and they've only got 3
Okay,
points.
well, let's just see how the game progresses.
Just saying.
Here. I got you. I know you're just saying. But let's go around the NFL. A lot of happenings in the NFL.
Well, let's start with the Thursday game.
The Thursday game?
Yeah, the 49ers.
The 49ers remain
off,
unbeaten.
Knocking off the Cardinals. I'll tell you what, the
Do you
Cardinals played very, very well that game.
Yeah, Kyler Murray, he's a good player.
Yeah, he is.
He's another young quarterback that's better than Mitchell Trubisky
yes,
by
he is.
leaps and bounds.
Oh, yeah. He's also better than Mayfield or any of these other clowns that were drafted last
Baker
year.
Mayfield blows.
Yeah,
I'm embarrassed that I believed in him, and I
No.
believed in that Browns team.
And Baker Mayfield throwing all kinds of shade at the Giants at the beginning of the season. By the way, Baker, you still only have 2 wins, just as many as Danny Jones does. And Danny's played 2 less games and has a tougher schedule than you. So, just saying, buddy. You have weapons and he doesn't.
I hear you. I'm done with the Browns. I can't believe they lost to that.
Losing to Denver with a quarterback making his first NFL start, and it's not
A
like
guy I never even. I had to look up.
That guy. It's not like that guy was a first-round draft choice. I mean, if he's
He's a 6th-round pick.
Yeah, it wasn't even
3 years ago now.
Rob, it wasn't even Drew Lock for crying out loud. It was what's his name, Baldwin, Connor Baldwin, or something like that, or. I mean, that's
Brandon Allen.
Brandon Allen
was
sorry.
his name.
Brandon Allen. You lose to Brandon.
Yeah.
Do that. That's unbelievable.
And the Niners remain unbeaten. And Jimmy Garoppolo goes off. They get away from running the ball. Jimmy G goes off, has 4 touchdowns. I mean, they have everything.
I'll tell you
they have a nasty defensive front. Richard Sherman's leading that secondary. Jimmy G is good. What's that? Is that you, Frank? Jimmy G is leading they run the ball. They're physical up front. I mean, they're doing all this without their 2 starting tackles as well.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that
I'm
guy,
still not ready to crown them.
That guy Kittle,
George Kittle?
George Kittle, the tight end, right? He's a tight end, isn't he?
Yes.
He's very good.
Yes.
He is very, very good.
And
by the way, how do you like this run by Danny Jones?
I'm still not ready to give them the nod over the Saints as the best team.
No.
In the NFC.
No, not yet. Not yet. No,
Saints, they're going to play each other in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think the Saints are going to beat them. The Saints have just as good a defense as.
And then the Niners are going to play the Packers next week, so that'll be a stiff test.
Now the.
And then they have the Ravens coming up as well.
Yeah, well, they're not going to win all 3 of those games, obviously.
No.
In my opinion, if they win one of those 3 games, they did a good job. Because I think that's asking a lot. But you know what? Good for them if they're playing so well.
Yeah, they're going to have Seattle at least once. Maybe twice. And the Rams again. So they have some tough games coming up. They have a tough down the stretch.
Yeah, they do. They do. But you know what? They're in a prime position right now to make the playoffs.
Oh, big time. I don't see how they miss.
That's a good football
They're not going to lose all those games.
Now let's go to the game in England. 26-3.
That's perfect. It's right on my list. 26-3.
The Texans
Houston.
just destroy them. One good thing for Jacksonville is that at least next week, I believe Nick Foles is supposed to be coming back.
I think Nick Foles is out.
I thought
I think he's out. I mean, I know he'll be healthy, but
I
think you stick with the kid.
I think he's going to be. I think he's going to get in there because they need a spark now because they've clearly hit the skids. I mean, they beat the Jets. That's really their only win the last few weeks. Giants are moving the ball, by the way. Nice to see Barkley is getting involved.
Giants are. I'm not sure, Frank. What do we do? We're out on Facebook right now. Stick with YouTube. Anyone trying to look on Facebook at Sports Hounds A2D Radio? Go follow our YouTube channel. We're live and kicking on there. We apologize. We're having technical difficulties with Facebook. Harlem Cowboy. Yeah, here we go, fellas. Can I get a how about them Cowboys?
No.
No, you can't. Looks like the Giants are on the move here, Brad.
Yeah.
Barkley with a nice little run there.
Harlem, unless you're actually from Texas,
Well, he's probably from Harlem based on his YouTube handle.
baseball. You're Harlem, like New York, Harlem.
I
And
don't
you're-
know. I mean,
We have two football teams in New York. 3 football teams in New York if you count the Bills. Why are you a Cowboy fan?
We
Were
fell
you-
in love with the star.
Stop. Yeah,
Bryce
these-
Blackwell checking
these
in.
Cowboy
Slayton's
fans.
from Auburn. Your boy Darius Slayton. Bryce Blackwell. The coaching needs a makeover next season. It'll help Doug. I mean, I agree. I mean, I'm trying to turn off I'm trying to look. Offensive line played well, and you're right. The defense did do well because even though the Bears stink. So at least they didn't give it up at the end, even though they tried, letting Taylor Gabriel go down the field. Just an unfulfilling win. I'm not fulfilled Monday. I feel like they lost, even though they didn't, and they're 5-5, and win's a win. Wins are tough in this league. Whatever makes you feel good at night. I was unfulfilled by the win. I was not impressed. I don't have confidence in this team going forward that they can beat the good teams left on their schedule and get to the playoffs. That's just me. Pete Evans, we need new coordinators for this team. Well, I've been out on Schwartz since he lost to Atlanta, like with that dopey blitz that was just telegraphed on the Jumbotron on Sunday Night Football. Is that still Atlanta's only win?
Yeah, they didn't.
That's
play
still
last week.
yeah.
Well, you know what though? Listen, the Cowboys. The Jets' only win was against the Cowboys. So listen, both the Cowboys and the Eagles had their major slip up and have their source of embarrassment of the one win. So it is what it is.
And then Bryce Blackwell. The next year's draft is key, and the roster needs to be remade. Hopefully, this is a wake-up call for the organization. I mean, I'm not ready to look at the draft yet. I know I'm being a little Negadelphia and being, not being ecstatic about that win over a truly awful Bears team yesterday. But I'm not ready to look at the draft. I'm not ready to say that this team needs a total makeover. You still have Carson. You have a left tackle of the future. You're still going to have Lane for a few more years. Kelsey's getting older. Malu's still young, he keeps holding on to his job. Fletcher is going to be here. He's paid. Mills is serviceable. You probably need a safety. You probably need a linebacker. And you definitely need wide receivers. And you have Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard, both young running backs. And I would absolutely re-sign Jordan Howard. Absolutely, 100% re-sign Jordan Howard. Please. He's the best player on the team.
Yeah, I see.
Jordan Howard is the best Eagle the 2019 version of this squad has to offer. He's been incredible. It's a shame that Doug and Deuce don't want to commit to him like they should. Giants in the red zone again. Still 3-3. Second quarter just underway.
Yeah, they're on the 19-yard line.
Getting back to around the NFL. Yeah, those London games, they stink. And the Texans did what they did. And I would consider the
Texans have to be considered the favorite to win the division now.
the
that,
AFC South.
now that Brissett's hurt.
Brissett's hurt. It looks like he's going to be good to go against Miami next week.
Well, I don't
but-
know about that. He's got a sprained ligament.
I
in his
mean, they
knee.
said he might play.
Well, they haven't got the results back yet from the whatchamacallit.
But, we'll see. Washington takes out Buffalo. Buffalo takes out Washington 24-9. I mean, just another stinky,
Matter of fact, win over a stinky team for
stinky
Buffalo.
team. And,
Because
that team's pretty much got wild card number 1 in the AFC on lock.
Well, their schedule down the stretch is very, very easy.
Their schedule's been a joke all season.
Yeah, they don't really play anybody.
They're in a weak division to begin with, and they're playing a last place schedule.
Well, they're not playing. Technically, they're not playing a last place schedule.
Well,
but
third
they are.
what
They came in second last year, didn't they?
did they? I'd have to.
Oh, did he stay in bounds? Yes, he did. First and goal, Giants on the one.
First and goal, Giants on the 1.
How about that
Is that
catch by
Golden
Golden Tate? Look at
And
this
then-
pass by Jones. I mean, right on the money, right where only Tate could catch it. That is a beautiful pass.
And Frank, let's take our break. Can we take our break? We'll try and get YouTube. We'll try and get Facebook back up. We'll continue with Around the NFL. The Sixers, are they the best team in the NBA? We'll give you the rest of the world in sports as well.
They might be.
Early leans, monster weekend of college football next Saturday. Sports Hounds, A2D Radio. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. A2D Radio, Sports Hounds, Real Talk Studios. Brought to you each and every Monday by Gibson Merritt LLC. Certified public accountants. They're ours. Make them yours too. GibsonMerrittLLC.com. Going around the NFL, got live reactions to the Cowboys-Giants Monday Night Football game. It is now 12-3 New York Giants. Giants, New York, looking to throw Philadelphia a bone here maybe. Put the Eagles back.
We're giving it a shot here. We're
why
giving
is
it a
this-
shot.
But-
Danny Jones having a real nice
Danny
game
Jones
tonight.
looks good. Shermer's calling a good game, and the Cowboys look flat out the bye.
They look
Dak
awful.
looks terrible. They're turning the ball over. They're not looking good.
A crucial fumble, a terrible interception. The Giants have scored 6 points off of the Cowboy turnovers.
But is
And-
that enough?
Well, if the Giants don't turn the ball over, I think they've got a shot in this game. But they've done an outstanding job, and I'll tell you what, to have a 6-minute drive against the Cowboys and keep the ball and keep their defense off the field, it is really important because that's how the Cowboys beat you, by being on the field and wearing down the other team's defense. And the Giants' defense tonight has been a bend but don't break defense.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
And if you took the 6.5 points right now, you're
looking
You're
good.
smiling right now at halftime.
Oh, yeah. That and a cat was on the field. That is a little extra entertainment.
Yeah.
Cute little black kitty.
Yeah, well, that jinxed the Giants' drive. You know that,
Yeah.
right?
I know.
Absolutely.
It's probably Jimmy Hoffa's ghost saying, "Hey, this is what you get for burying me under the stadium."
Yeah, right.
No, he's better. He's
No,
not,
he's buried under the other stadium.
yeah.
Yeah, he might have been resurrected somewhere, not in the form of a black cat. You never know.
Yeah, it's probably a feral cat, though.
Yeah. Hopefully, if it was somebody's pet cat, hopefully it finds its home, or get it to a nice little shelter.
Yeah, hopefully.
Care
Yeah, I
about
mean,
the animals.
did you see how courteous the cat was, though?
Oh,
That
yeah.
he ran through the tunnel.
Yeah.
All right. I would like to shift gears. I want to talk about the NBA. Sixers remain the only unbeaten team in the NBA. They're doing it with defense. They're doing it with good coaching, surprisingly.
They're impressive.
I've been one of Brett Brown's biggest critics over the process in the last couple seasons when they were getting good. He's doing a great job. They get a huge win in Portland, down 21, without Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid serving the second end of his suspension tonight. They are at Phoenix. They are down 3, just getting going.
That
there
is
in
not going to
Phoenix.
be. That is not going to be an easy game. Phoenix has played well.
Phoenix
so far
is
this year.
4-2. Phoenix has some really good. Phoenix doesn't have DeAndre Ayton. He got suspended for performance-enhancing drugs. They do have Devin Booker, who can score at will. Yeah, they have some guys. They have Frank Kaminsky. The Suns have some guys. They're off to a good start. This should be a game that the Sixers should win to improve to 5-0.
They're already 5-0. 6-0.
6-0, I mean.
6-0.
To remain the only unbeaten team in the NBA. And my question to you, Brad, are they the best team in basketball right now?
Well,
I'm
I can't say. I can't argue with you if you say
I
they're
think
the
they
best
are.
team. I think they're pretty damn good right now.
3 of the 5 wins, assuming they win tonight and go to 6-0, half the wins will be without Joel Embiid.
And
Miss-
on the road, and against tough teams.
And I don't expect them to come back from this West Coast trip with an undefeated record. They got the Suns tonight, and they also have to play Utah and Denver.
Yeah, they might lose a game.
And looking at the scores right now, the Sixers are down by 5 with the score of 22-15.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's all right.
It's early.
You know
Yeah.
the way they won
about
that
5
game
minutes
last,
left in the first.
The way they won that game last week against Atlanta, that was kind of a miracle.
Yeah, and then
miracle win.
they scratch and claw. Ben does good. Al Horford's been a terrific signing. Josh Richardson is smooth. They play defense. And, yeah, they have some deficiencies shooting the basketball, but
You know what though, Rob? Defense travels.
defense travels. That's why they won in Portland. They were able to buckle down, grind it out, and get a big win against
That's why
I know they're
that's why
3-3 to start the
That's why the Houston Rockets never win a championship because
Yeah, they don't play defense.
if you
They
don't
have
play
D'Antoni.
defense, you can't win in the NBA. Not a championship anyway. By the way, how much trouble is Golden State in this
They're
year?
in a tremendous amount of trouble. They're
let's
gonna win.
see.
They're gonna win 10 games.
Yeah, Stephon.
At that rate, they'll win 10 games.
Stephon is out for what? 2 months? 3 months?
3 months.
3 months.
Draymond's out for at least a month. With
torn ligaments.
Yeah.
I mean,
Russell missed the game. I don't think his injury's too serious, but he's missing games.
yeah, and of course, no Klay Thompson this year.
Yeah.
No
Durant
Klay Thompson.
is gone.
Durant's
Uh,
gone.
Yeah, that team is.
Yeah, they're gonna have a top 3 to 5 pick.
Surprisingly. And then,
They're gonna reload if they
Yeah,
pick a good guy.
yeah, which I believe is Cassius Winston is the projected number one.
James Wiseman out of Memphis is.
Yeah, James Wiseman. I heard Cassius Winston.
Cassius Winston, he'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows which freshmen
Yeah.
are gonna grab the bull by the. There's really no freshman like Zion Williamson besides James
Let's
Wiseman,
see.
7-footer who can play at
Wiseman,
Memphis.
yeah. Anthony Edwards, another one.
RJ
LaMelo.
Barrett's been pretty good this
Yeah.
year.
It's not a rookie class. It's not a
Yeah.
draft like it was last year. Coming
Yeah,
up. That could all
nothing
change.
too huge.
College
Yeah,
basketball
I'm looking
starts
at these
tomorrow.
names.
Get some monster games.
We
got
gotta see if we can get our buddy back on the air.
Phil Martelli,
Yeah, I'll give him. I'll give them a call and see
assistant
if I can get him on
coach
the
at Michigan
what
now.
2021 looks
Yep.
like.
He's coaching. I guess he's Juwan Howard's assistant.
You look at the NBA as a whole, you have the 2 LA teams and the Sixers. That's the top tier of the NBA.
Well, the Clippers just did a number on the Lakers the other night.
Right, and they don't even have Paul George yet.
No.
And the Lakers don't have Kuzma, to be fair. But if I'm ranking the teams now, I'm putting Sixers, Clippers, Lakers. The Lakers lost the opening game to the Clippers, but haven't lost since. LeBron found the fountain of youth last Friday night against the Mavericks. He looked like Miami.
LeBron will be.
He looked
fine.
like Miami LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron will be fine. He'll rest when he needs to rest. It's all about the playoffs for them.
And then
Just like listen, let's be honest, okay? I'm gonna use the Yankees as the example for the Sixers, okay? The Sixers are gonna be either first or second seed in the NBA East, okay?
Yes.
This is not about the regular season anymore.
No.
Okay? This is strictly about the playoffs. Good coverage there. And that's what it's going to be. Okay, anything less than a conference final? No, I would say. Would you say conference final or a NBA final this season?
you got to at
would be
least get.
considered-
You got to. I mean,
At least a conference final against Milwaukee. You have to at least get that far.
Boston looks pretty good, and they're going to trade for a big. Mark
Well,
my words. At the
They
deadline.
they got
They lost. They're the same as the Lakers. They lost opening night and haven't lost since.
yeah, but the Sixers beat them. The
Right.
Sixers beat them up.
I'm just saying, for this team to get over the hump to an Eastern Conference final or
Uh-oh.
NBA final, I think you're going to have to beat Boston in a 7-game
Uh-oh.
series at some point. That's a
Oh,
touchdown for the
boy.
Cowboys. What's that? Blake Jarwin? What's that, like a
boy,
tight
you can
end
see-
tight end
See,
screen?
this is the kind of stuff that the Giants do. They
Uh-oh.
give
Well,
up
you
these
miss the
long
extra
plays.
point. You got the black
Yeah.
cat on the field, and you don't capitalize good enough on those
And
turnovers.
We don't tackle either. But I mean, that's a 42-yard touchdown pass. Come on.
But the Giants
Wide
are playing
open
like.
too. Jeez.
Now, I'm only half watching this game because we're on the air. We're talking about different stuff.
Yeah.
But the way the Giants are playing, going up and down the field, getting field goals, not capitalizing on
Well,
the
that's how the
Cowboys'
Eagles
shortcomings.
played yesterday.
It's exactly how the Eagles played yesterday.
Except
and
the Giants
Dallas
aren't
is a-
good enough. The Giants are not good enough to
their
overcome
opponent-
that.
But their opponent is Dallas. They're a good team.
Yeah, they can
Like, if
score.
the Eagles played a team the caliber of Dallas, lost. It's stone loss.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Right,
No,
getting back
that's
to the NBA, you have second tier. Like, I guess the Rockets could potentially win the West, maybe, even though they're not off to the best start. The Jazz and the Nuggets could definitely, possibly, maybe win the West. And then you have the Bucks and the Celtics in the East that could potentially win the East along with the Sixers. So and the Heat are on fire right now, but I don't think that they have the goods to
I don't think
sustain
they're
it or
gonna- yeah, I
be
was
in
gonna say, I
an
don't think
Eastern
they're gonna be
Conference
there that long.
final or
Oh,
anything.
they really dismantled Houston the other night.
They did. It was like 46-16 at the point.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It was.
I thought it was like 59 to 18 or something.
It
was something really
extremely
embarrassing.
lopsided.
Yeah.
Extremely lopsided.
It was
loss.
like this. It was like a CYO game.
Jimmy Butler is playing well. He's talking that shit on the Sixers for whatever reason, saying how it's
Don't understand why he's doing that.
Yeah, he basically said he didn't want to come back here because there was a lot of drama. Well, he turned down money to
He must have really not wanted to play. I wonder what this.
he said it was too much drama, and it's a direct shot at Ben because he tweeted out after Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns got in a fight how much he respects Joe and how big of boys they are. So clearly there was a rift between him and Butler if you want to connect or Ben and Butler if you want to connect the dots
I
there.
gotta tell you something.
And then he's also smelling himself because they're 5-1, and he says people say I turned down a chance to win with the Sixers. He thinks he's on that LeBron, Giannis, Anthony Davis level where anywhere he goes is an instant title contender. But he's not that.
Know if he's that good.
He's not that good.
He's pretty good. I don't know if he's that good, but I mean.
But I used to like him until he said that.
You know what?
Now I don't miss him at all. Now I officially don't miss him at all.
It's what. He is kind of a. He does have a kind of a big mouth.
He's a Jo.
Yeah. No, he's an ass.
Yeah.
He isn't. I mean, he was treated great here. The fans treated him great.
Oh, the fans loved him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he's doing himself a tremendous disservice by acting like that. There's no reason for that.
And then you got the Sixers down 5 as the 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Let's finish around the NFL before we get to our early leans. And we get some Gold Glovers announced in baseball. We got the hot stove is upon us. Options picked up, not picked up. Options exercise. What do you call it? Qualifying offers. Qualifying offers came down today. And the Nationals are world champions, so congratulations to them.
Yes.
But around the NFL, let's talk about the Nationals in the World Series because it's the first World Series ever where it went 7 games and a home team didn't win a game.
That's highly unusual.
And A.J. Hinch should be absolutely ashamed of himself.
A.J. Hinch is not going to be the manager of the year.
No.
I mean,
I don't understand.
How are you not putting Garrett Cole?
Garrett Cole.
What the heck? I mean,
he's probably going to win the American League Cy Young, and you leave the bullet in the gun in Game 7. And Will Harris, who was clearly Will Harris is a good pitcher.
Oh, he's a very good relief pitcher.
When you type it in the computer and you look at Will Harris's stats over the year, that's the analytics play. But if you actually use your eyes and watch the fucking game, you would have seen the night before or the game before. I don't know if it was the night before or not. I forget.
He was shaky.
He's shot. He's tired. It's Game 7 of the World Series. A
lot of these relievers are.
They went 5. They had to play a wild card game. They went 5 against the Dodgers. No. They went. Who did Houston play?
The Yankees.
No, before that.
Tampa.
5 games against Tampa, not L.A.
Six grueling games against
against the Yankees, and then he goes 7 games against the Nationals. Bullpen shot. They only have Ozuna and Harris at the back end there.
We're not good, and Ozuna wasn't any good either.
But anyone could see Game 6 and 7 that
Washington
Will Harris was gassed. You go with your best. You can't leave Garrett Cole on the bench like that.
Washington put Corbin in.
Yeah. And, boy,
man.
Danny
No.
Dimes.
See, this is what he does.
Danny Dimes, the black cat. That was an awful choice.
Oh.
That's a really bad pick by Daniel Jones there.
Yeah, now they're going to kick a field goal and be ahead at halftime.
12-10. Giants didn't take advantage. The Cowboys are going to win this game. Two-gun Tommy checks in. Yeah, injury is a big part. We finally got guys coming back, but it's time to let these older guys go. I'm assuming Two-gun Tommy is in reference to my Jason Peters and Darren Sproles comments earlier in the show. Yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, Howie Roseman, Doug Peterson, this organization feels like they owe it to these old guys to keep them around forever. for whatever reason. And I don't get it. But getting back to baseball, you look at Davey Martinez and the Washington Nationals, I thought he used Corbin excellent.
That's my point.
Excellent.
Dave Martinez,
he did it throughout the whole playoffs. Corbin was the first guy out of that bullpen every big spot.
Because Corbin was your guy. He did not leave.
Yeah, they paid him what, $145 million?
He did not leave his big gun. He did not leave his bullet in the gun.
And he trusted Anibal Sanchez to start game
1.
No, he pitched game 4.
Pitched game 4, game 5.
Or 3. What did he do?
Well, he lost. Anibal Sanchez pitched game 1.
Yeah, that's right.
And he won. He lost game 5.
But he had
at
this
home. But he had Strasburg for game 6 and he had Scherzer
the World
for game
Series.
7.
No, the World Series was was it Cole in game 1 for the Astros?
It was Cole for the Astros, but it was Sanchez
no,
for the
it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It
No?
was it was the two aces for each respective team started the first game, and then Greinke beat Sanchez in game 3.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
And then Corbin.
You're right because
and then Corbin came back.
Because I was screaming about why wouldn't Corbin?
No,
pitch
because
game 3?
Because they used him in relief after Strasburg in game 2.
Yeah.
So they pushed him back a day. Sanchez pitched great, and then you go back, you let him
Corbin.
rest, then you go
Yeah.
with Corbin in game 4.
But then he's got enough rest to pitch.
But
game
Sanchez
7.
won,
Yeah.
So they had Houston had a distinct pitching advantage in game 3 and lost because it was Greinke for them.
No, Houston won game.
And
3.
then Corbin.
Houston won game 3. Houston lost games 1 and 2 and 6 and 7. They lost their home games. Washington lost their home games.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
But anyway, I commend Davey Martinez for using Corbin the way he did, and I don't understand why A.J. Hinch left Cole on the bench in Game 7.
How great is Juan Soto?
And he wants to say he really good. I was pretty surprised he didn't win the MVP. Strasburg won the MVP. But and then he wants to say he doesn't want Cole to start come in the middle of an inning. Like,
he shouldn't have had to come in the middle of an inning. He should have started the inning. I mean, that was the whole point. Yeah,
right. So you would have pulled Greinke at the beginning of the inning.
If you're
So you wouldn't have sent Greinke out. You would have led with Cole.
Yeah.
In that inning. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. That would have been the play. I mean, I did not understand. I did not understand why they did that. And I don't know if I mentioned how annoyed I was about Altuve Altuve hitting against Chapman. 3 balls and 1 strike, and you've got who was on deck? Marcisak.
Yeah, Mrazek.
Mrazek. Yeah, he's on deck. Okay, and he's a 220 hitter, and the count's 3-1, and you've already got a runner on second base. Walk him. What are you doing? I mean, that play made no sense whatsoever. I just don't understand. I just could not understand for the life of me why you would pitch to Jose Altuve with the game on the line. That play bothered me, and it's going to bother me all winter. But
speaking of your Yankees,
made a couple of interesting moves.
Aroldis Chapman opting into his contract. He'll be back in the Bronx.
Well, he didn't opt in. They extended him.
Okay, they extended him.
Yeah, they gave him an extra year, so he didn't opt out. So they get.
So what's he gonna make? $20 million next year?
No, 15.
Okay.
15, and then 18.
And then they decline the option on Didi Gregorius, the $17 million option. So Didi Gregorius, pretty good stick in the middle of the infield.
By the way, also Edwin Encarnacion.
He will not be back either.
He will not be back either. So
they're going to sign Garrett Cole.
They're going to try to.
Or Steven Strasburg, who opted out of his deal. They're going to get a big-time pitcher.
Yeah, that would be.
That's what you're saying because you
Oh,
shed
absolutely. They shed a ton of. They shed a ton
you
of
shed the
money.
Parrot.
Yeah.
You shed Gregorius, which I guess you look at their infield. You get Andahar back. You move Gleyber Torres over to shortstop.
Right.
I think it's foolish to rely on Gio Urshela to do what he did again. I don't know where he fits in the plans because you got Voit who kind of missed the playoffs with that
Gio Urshela
core injury.
Gio Urshela hit 300 during the season.
Yeah, I get it.
He also hit 300 in the playoffs.
I get it.
I mean, he's,
guys have career years.
Oh,
Gio Urshela was nobody before this season.
Yeah, but suppose he hits 270, 280 next year. Listen, you can't pay $20 million for a player at every position.
I get it.
You know, I mean, if you're gonna go out and try to bring in a guy like Cole or Strasburg or one of these types of players, you're gonna have to make some tough decisions. They may not keep Betances. They may let him go too.
Well, I mean, he tore his Achilles. Was that in the playoffs or the end of the season?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how much you can expect to get from.
Well, I mean, it's still. You would think that by the time spring training rolls around, I mean, he's a pitcher. He's not a basketball player.
All right, Greg checks in. Yeah, but Greinke was cruising 70 pitches through 6 innings. That's true.
But it's also the third time around the batting order, and analytics will tell you that third time around the order.
I don't know if I
is
necessarily
rough.
agree with Brad that Greinke should have been pulled. Cole should have started that inning because he was pitching well and he only had 70 pitches. He was cruising in that game.
But
you can't, regardless of that, you can't leave Cole on the bench. And I think Greg would absolutely would agree with that. It's all fine and good to want to clean inning to bring Cole in, but it's also Game 7. Do whatever you need to do to win. Or why they pitched to Soto with a base open. They're all good pitch, and then Roska. They're all good points by Greg, and then Roska chimes in. He thinks Garrett Cole's going to go to the Angels, which is a possibility.
Oh, absolutely.
That or that other LA team.
Yeah, Marino is certainly going to throw the money around. I don't know with Cheap
The
Hal.
White Sox are going to be throwing some money around as well.
Yeah, I don't know about Cheap Hal if he's going to spend the money on Cole because
I think a lot.
There's no way the
everybody.
Yankees are shedding this money and not adding a starting pitcher. There's no shot because you lost to the Astros.
Oh, they'll get a starting pitcher, but my question is, are they going to go Wheeler or Odorizzi, or are they going to go for the Gusto?
Odorizzi got a qualifying offer.
Yeah,
so
but
you have
that
to give
won't
up
stop.
a first. That won't stop
That
them.
won't stop them. The Yankees have a really, really good farm system. So really, at this point, their farm system is loaded with pitching. So that's not going to stop them if they want to get a guy.
Are we at halftime here?
Yeah, it's 13-12
We
Dallas.
are.
13-12 Dallas at half. Sixers up 3. 4 minutes gone in the second quarter. But the qualifying offers are interesting. So for those of you who aren't the qualifying offers, they're allowed to extend a qualifying offer to a free agent. And if said team, a different team offers them a contract, the retaining team can either match it or they get a draft pick. Is that correct?
No, what happens is if the player can accept the
Let's use
qualifying
Madison
offer.
Bumgarner as an example.
Okay. If
Madison Bumgarner received the qualifying offer
Okay,
today.
if he accepts it, then he gets a 1-year deal for $18 million.
Okay.
If he rejects it, then he can sign as a free agent. If he signs as a free agent, whoever signs him has to give up a compensatory first-round pick. So that's how that works.
Now, it's a compensatory pick, so it's at the end of the first round. So if the Phillies sign Madison Bumgarner, they wouldn't have to give up the 15th pick in the draft.
Right, they would have to. Yeah, they would lose. Well, they would lose their. They would lose a pick.
They would lose the 15th pick in the
no,
draft. That would
wait,
go
do
to
they
the
lose-
Giants.
Do they lose the pick, or do the Giants get an extra pick?
The Giants might get an extra
The
pick.
Giants might get an extra pick. Yeah, I think that's how it works. So they would get like a 32 or the 33rd pick or something along those lines.
But
So
Odorizzi gets one. Madison Bumgarner gets one.
did Cole get one? I would assume Cole got one.
Hold on, I got him right here.
I mean, I can't imagine that Houston wouldn't give him one. I mean, Strasburg did not get one because he was able to pick because he opted out. And Edwin Encarnacion, there was none because he was traded in the middle of the season.
Okay, Garrett Cole, Anthony Rendon, Steven Strasburg, Zach Wheeler, Madison Bumgarner, Josh Donaldson, Marcel Ozuna, Jake Odorizzi, Jose Abreu, and Will Smith were the 10 free agents that got qualifying offers.
Okay, so all the top players got qualifying offers. So,
yeah, Cole, Donaldson, Ozuna, Bumgarner, Will Smith, Zach Wheeler, Rendon, Strasburg, Odorizzi, Abreu.
okay. A lot of talk about
Guys
Lindor
like
getting traded, by the way.
Yeah, I don't get that. The guy's a total stud. You have him and Jose Ramirez as your middle infield. You still have Kluber. You still have Cody Allen at the back end. Roberto Perez, their catcher, won a Gold Glove today.
They traded for Puig to get some more offense, and Puig was pretty good last year for them. He hit the ball.
He's streaky.
Oh, he's very streaky.
But
he was hitting the ball in the American
and then
League.
no one really seem to, no one ever really seems to grab hold of the AL Central.
Well, they're all such
average
low-budget
teams.
Yeah, they're all low budget teams. That's the problem.
I mean, the Royals stink.
Minnesota,
I think the White Sox are
Minnesota has no pitching whatsoever.
The White Sox are a really interesting team to watch this offseason.
If the White Sox can go out,
if the White Sox get Cole or Strasburg or Bumgarner to put with Giolito with the young bats that they have,
they need one more bat. They need another stick.
I mean,
but boy, if they could get themselves a stick,
Rendon maybe.
Oh, if they can, anybody gets him, that would be a.
Nelson Cruz and Encarnacion are free agents. You put them at DH.
Encarnacion, you know what? I keep hearing Encarnacion in Toronto.
Yeah, go back to Toronto.
Because Justin Smoke didn't get picked up. So
well, another team to watch out for those DHs is the Texas Rangers. They have
the money too.
They have the money. They got a new ballpark coming. So, I mean, that'd be something if Garrett Cole went from Houston to Arlington.
Do you think there's any chance that the Braves re-sign Donaldson? Because I heard Donaldson loved it in Atlanta.
Yeah, they might. I mean,
he certainly had a big-time comeback season this year.
He had a great second half.
Yeah, he supposedly he loved it down there. So this is what I'm hearing. These are some of the rumors I'm hearing. I'm hearing Lindor might be going to the Angels. He might be going to the Dodgers, which I don't get the Dodgers because they have Seager.
Dodgers.
They have Seager. I mean,
you're right.
I don't really get that. I can understand.
But, if he's on the market, Lindor, it's kind of like he's the best one. He's an upgrade for everybody.
Yeah, and he
doesn't offensively, defensively, he's a leader.
Yeah, he doesn't strike out a lot.
He runs, he steals bases, like he's the total package. Tremendous player.
No, I love Frankie Lindor. He could play on my team any day.
So if they're going to make him available, that's a no-brainer. I mean, maybe Bogarts is maybe the only one on that level with him.
No, he's better than Bogarts.
I understand. I agree, but
yeah, he's better. Bogarts is good. I'm not saying he's not, but he's better than Bogarts. He's the. I mean, the only one that I could really think that might be on his level when he's healthy is Correa.
No, I'm not a Correa guy. I think he's overrated. Big time overrated. Carlos Correa.
So I had a little argument with a couple of people on Facebook.
Shocking.
At this point in their careers, okay, whom would you rather have on your team, Jose Altuve or Gleyber Torres? If you're starting a team right now at their present ages,
well, Gleyber Torres is 22, and
he makes no money,
and he's really good.
He's really good.
I mean, if
he can play second base and shortstop and third.
I would take Gleyber Torres.
Thank you, because Gleyber Torres can play both shortstop and third as well.
Gleyber Torres is terrific.
Yeah.
He's terrific.
And he doesn't get all those cheap home runs to left field like Altuve does.
I mean, Altuve's really good too. I don't want to diminish his place in the game.
He's great, but
you know,
he
he's
doesn't get
getting a little.
RBIs.
He's getting up close to 30. He's
Makes a lot of money now.
makes a lot of money now. He spends some. I mean,
He was banged up a lot this year.
Gleyber Torres 22,
21 actually.
21. He hit 30 homers this year from middle
38.
38 home runs, almost
38
40
is
home
a
runs from.
38 is a
second baseman.
and
I mean-
shortstop. And shortstop.
I mean, forget about Altuve and second. I mean, if I'm picking a position player to start my team around, I mean,
He'd be it.
he's at the top of the list.
He's unbelievable right now. I mean, between him and Acuna, they might be the two best young
Yeah,
players.
Soto
And
as
Soto
well.
as well. Yeah, Soto also. I forgot. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention him. That damn black cat screwed up the Giants.
Yeah, man.
12-3, and that thing got on the field, and now it's 13-12.
I'm not a cat guy at all.
No.
This is the cat.
They're really weird.
I'm sorry.
They're
It's his fault.
most valuable player. The finalists are out for the postseason awards. So the finalists for the American League MVP, Alex Bregman, Marcus Semien, who had a monster year for the Oakland A's, and Mike Trout.
You know it's going to be Bregman.
It should be Bregman.
Yeah, it's going to be Bregman.
He had a
He had a
War of
lousy
over
playoffs.
8.
He choked big time in the playoffs.
I mean, he had almost an 1100 OPS.
Yeah, no, he had a great season.
80 extra base hit, league high, 119 walks. Major league high, not just American League high, 119 walks,
Yeah, well,
which is crazy.
that didn't help Aaron Judge. That one year when they gave it to Altuve, which was
Yeah, well, I mean,
That was a big
we were on WNJC when that happened.
yeah, that was a big joke.
And yeah, I thought
That was a
Judge should have gotten it.
Yeah, Judge had him in every stat except batting average, which is the least important of all the stats.
I'm with you though. That should be Bregman.
I would go with Bregman.
National League finalist for MVP: Cody Bellinger, Anthony Rendon, Christian Yelich. I'm gonna give it to Bellinger slightly over Yelich, even though all three are like really good.
You know what? I got to give it to Yelich to Bellinger too.
Let's not forget
I got to give it to
the
Bellinger.
the only candidate there that won a Gold Glove, defense matters too, was Cody Bellinger.
No, I as I said, I would give it to Bellinger, and and you and I agree about this. Being on the field is part of it.
Absolutely.
Okay. If you want to start using the excuse, oh, well, he got hurt. No, I think if you're on the field and you're playing, that counts. That's really important. That's why with the Golden Glove, as mad as I am that Mookie Betts would want it over Judge, Judge missed 2 months. He hasn't deserved to win the Gold Glove. He wasn't out there every day. Mookie was out there every day, and he deserves it.
I mean, so we're in agreement there as well with Bellinger.
Absolutely, I like Bellinger. I think he really carried the Dodgers this year.
It's a shame the Mets were so bad because Pete Alonso really had a special year. But I mean, I have a hard time giving the MVP award to a team. They weren't even that bad, but they weren't in the playoffs.
Well, they were 10 games over 500. Interesting that they.
That's why it's hard to give it. I mean, I get Trout's like stupendous. He's a great player, but
yeah,
never in the playoffs.
No.
Cody Bellinger, 305 on base percentage over 400, 47 homers, 34 doubles, WAR. Looks like tops of the 9 WAR, which led the bigs. That's Bellinger there.
Bellinger had a tremendous season. How many home runs did he end up hitting?
47.
That's a lot of home runs.
That's a lot of home runs.
That's a lot of home runs.
So the American League Cy Young finalists: Garrett Cole, Charlie Morton, Justin Verlander.
I would give it to Cole.
I'm a Garrett Cole guy, so that means the Astros will. Sportstown's predicting that the Astros will sweep the AL MVP and AL Cy Young.
Yeah, I would have to give it to him. You could make the argument for Morton. I mean, the team he played on doesn't exactly hit.
Let's sift through the little blurb here.
Okay.
Free agent walk year. I mean, Cole had 2.5 ERA, 326 strikeouts in
Wow.
212 innings.
And in that joke of a ballpark too. That's pretty impressive to have a 2.5 ERA.
326 strikeouts in 212 innings is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, especially for starting pitcher. That's.
But Morton, his ERA was a half run higher at 3.05.
Okay, you win. I'm not going to argue
146.
anymore.
Yeah, I mean
What about
Verlander? Verlander's a better candidate than.
Yeah, no, I mean Morton just had a tremendous year. I mean,
No doubt.
he did.
It's
but
like Simeon being a finalist for the AL MVP.
he was very good. But
He
he's
had a
not,
very good year, but come
not
on,
comparison.
he's not the MVP.
Yeah, no. National League Cy Young probably would go to DeGrom. I would think. I don't know if he was nominated. I haven't.
Yeah,
seen
the finalists
nominations,
are
but
Jacob DeGrom, Hung-Chin Ryu from the Dodgers, who had a terrific season, and Max Scherzer. You remember DeGrom won last year. He followed up his Cy Young, right? DeGrom won.
Yeah, he won
Yeah,
last
he
year.
won.
He had a tremendous year this year, DeGrom.
11 wins after winning 10 the year before. 2.43 ERA, 255 strikeouts over 204 innings.
You mean his ERA wasn't under 2 this year?
In his last 23 starts, his ERA was 1.89.
Oh, okay. There you go. How dare he?
Yeah, Hung-Chin Ryu. His walk rate his claim to fame last year or this year, however you want to look at it, was he didn't walk anybody. He only walked. He walked just over one batter per 9 innings and had a 2.32 ERA.
Wow.
So he didn't walk anybody. He didn't hurt his team with walks. But I like
what was his ERA again?
2.32.
And what was DeGrom's?
Overall 2.43.
Okay. What
But
about
DeGrom-
strikeouts?
I mean,
DeGrom must have crushed him on strikeouts.
yeah,
though, 'cause he's a
255. It's
strikeout
not
guy.
his strikeouts aren't highlighted in the blurb here. And then Scherzer was doing Scherzer things.
Scherzer was
2.92
injured, though.
ERA. He got hurt. A 7.30. It's DeGrom.
Yeah.
It's got to be DeGrom. Rookie of the Year finalists: Yordan Alvarez of the Astros, Brandon Lau of the Rays, and John Means, left-handed pitcher for the Orioles. I mean, Alvarez.
I kind of liked Alvarez.
Alvarez carried the Astros
Yeah,
at points during the season.
Alvarez was really good.
He hit 27 homers in 369 plate appearances.
Lau was pretty good too, but he got hurt.
Yes, he did. Yeah, I'm
I
skimming the
gotta go
blurbs
Alvarez.
here. I mean, Means is just
Means was really good for a very bad team.
yeah. Hopefully they can build. And then NL Rookie of the Year, Pete Alonso, Mike Soroka, and
Pete
Tatis.
Alonso
It's Pete Alonso.
Wins easily.
He led the majors in home runs with 53, and his OPS 941 OPS. It was 7th in the NL, by far the best of all National League rookies. Tatis was hurt there in the middle of the year. 317 average is nothing to sneeze at.
No,
With
but
22 home runs. He's only 20.
53 home runs though is just remarkable.
Mike Soroka of the Braves, respectable season. Just it's a shame he's up against Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Manager of the Year in the American League: Rocco Baldelli of the Twins, Aaron Boone of the Yankees, a finalist, and Kevin Cash of the Rays. I think it's a landslide for Kevin Cash.
Boone. I think it's got to be Boone.
Boone? Okay,
With
Kevin
all the
Cash.
injuries.
Kevin Cash has the lowest payroll in baseball.
But Boone had 30 guys on the DL.
Good point. Good point.
I mean, that's the whole issue with the Yankees. Remember, they didn't have Judge for 2 months. Stanton only
I
played
hear
16.
you. You don't have to go over the Yankees
16
injury. You talked
games.
about them all the time, and they're still good.
Paxton missed a month.
You and
a
the
half.
other jabroni that used to sit next to him. I understand the Yankees were
Severino
injured
missed
and they were still
almost
good.
the whole season.
I get it.
They,
I get it. For
it was
the
remarkable.
Tampa Bay Rays to make the playoffs in the American League East and the American League in general with by far the lowest payroll in baseball is a landslide, no doubt about it, for Kevin Cash for AL American League finalist.
Oh, he should be a he should be a final. Listen, I wouldn't be upset if he won. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. I mean, the Rays did a great job this year. I mean, they have some really good young players, and I'll tell you, their GM made some really good trades as well. When you take a look at who is it that they got from the Pirates in the Archer trade?
Well, they got Glass now, who got hurt.
But they got a slugger too, Meadows.
Yeah.
Austin Meadows.
Oh, they
Austin
did great.
Meadows.
Chris
was
Archer is a
tremendous.
bum.
Yeah.
They did great in that trade.
Yeah. Well, they got Lau too, I think, in that trade, didn't they? And they got
then-
Glass now. They got Glass now, Lau, and Meadows for Archer. I mean, that was a steal.
And then the last one, NL Manager of the Year. You have Craig Counsell of the Brewers, Mike Schilt of the Cardinals, and Brian Snitker of the Braves.
It's got to be Snitker.
Over Schilt, you think?
Yeah.
They really came into their own, the Cardinals, and were able to win that division.
They had a lot of
And
talent, though. I mean, they got Ozuna from the
Yeah, and the Braves were all young guys. I'll get behind that.
Yeah, I mean, they between getting Ozuna and getting Goldschmidt, I mean, they went out and they picked up some pretty good players. And you know what? Flaherty came into his own in the second half of the season.
Yep.
Michaelis did not have a good year at all, and they had a shaky bullpen, but they could hit the ball. I mean, there's no question about that.
Oh, the other thing we forgot to mention, J.D. Martinez opting into his contract with the Red Sox.
Wise move. We both called that last week.
He's still owed 3 years, $62.5 million. I don't think he'd get anywhere close to that on the open market.
No, I think he knows that. The other thing is that really hurts the Red Sox, by the way.
10:02. We're gonna give you some bonus coverage here on the Sports Hounds because of our technical difficulties coming back from break. Do our way too early preview of next weekend's pro and college football games with early leans, and we get a couple big monster heavyweight matchups when it comes to college football next weekend. You have Penn State traveling to Minnesota. 5th ranked Penn State, 13th ranked Minnesota. The first official college football playoff rankings will come out tomorrow at 8 o'clock on ESPN. I think Penn State's going to be the first team out as of now, but a win on the road at undefeated Minnesota,
that would really help.
that would really boost them, and they still have to play Ohio State.
And if they were to win out,
Penn State,
then they would
if
most
they
assuredly.
if they win the Big Ten, undefeated Big Ten team, absolutely in the playoff.
Yeah, they'd be in the playoff. What it's going to come down to is beat Minnesota, beat Ohio State. You will be in the playoffs.
And I think Penn State's going to cream Minnesota. Yes, Minnesota is undefeated, but they haven't played anybody.
Not like
and
Penn
I think
State.
Penn State is
Penn State's got a really
good
good
on
defense. Yeah.
Really good on defense.
Real
So
good.
I have no problem. I think Penn State wins that game. I have no problem laying the 6.5 points.
Yeah, me neither.
And
I
then
love
you
it.
have
Love
the
it.
big-time showdown. Quite possibly could be number 1 versus number 2 in Tuscaloosa. LSU and Alabama.
I like LSU.
I like LSU as well. They're getting 6.5 points.
I think they're
Tua
gonna
is
win the
off
game.
the ankle surgery.
I think they're going to
Joe
win
Burrows
the game
has been
outright.
awesome. I don't disagree with you. I think LSU is the best team. LSU and Ohio State are the best teams, two best teams that I've seen so far this season in college football. I agree with you. I think LSU wins this game.
LSU they are really good, and I love that quarterback. He's tremendous.
Joe Burrows, he'd
Yep.
be. I'm trying to think if anyone surpassed him this weekend. He'd be my vote for Heisman, especially if he goes into Alabama and wins. That would kind of.
Well,
If Joe Burrows has a good game Saturday in Tuscaloosa and LSU wins, that pretty much
Rob,
wraps
I just
up the
don't think
Heisman.
I don't think that this is one of Alabama's vintage teams. They're good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're not.
And you have the Tua ankle factor
Well,
as well.
Yeah, that too. And you wonder, he hasn't played in a while. Now he's going up against that great defense, and LSU can score
The SEC
too.
is a different breed.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like I hope that
I mean,
the
Georgia
Eagles, like-
Georgia looks awfully impressive this week as well.
Georgia's defense is unreal. It's just a matter of Jake Fromm can.
Jake Fromm is very inconsistent.
He is very inconsistent.
But boy, when he's on his
they
game,
lack a big time receiver there at Georgia. But their offensive line and their running game are awesome, and their defense is awesome. They were able to beat Florida last week to keep their playoff chances alive. And you got to think Florida's dead after their second loss.
Yeah. By the way, I got to tell you, Florida State, they stink.
They stink. They fired their coach, who's just in way over his head. Should have stayed at Oregon.
I mean, it's gotten to a point with Florida State now. They're dreadful.
Week 10 NFL Thursday night. You got the Chargers traveling to Oakland. Chargers favored by 1 on the road.
Oakland is 4-4, and the Chargers are 4-5.
Correct.
That's a tough one.
This is a.
I think the Chargers.
I don't want to say.
I like the
must-win
Chargers.
game for both of them.
Yeah, I like the Chargers. I think the
Chargers
are ready
look
to make
terrific against the Packers.
I
on
think the
Sunday.
Chargers
they
are ready.
Put a hurting on what I thought was the best team in football.
Yeah, they're
going into last week.
Yeah, this is a game.
Green
This is a
Bay
game
Packers.
they need to serve notice.
And Zeke gets a catch. Cowboys on the move here in the second half. There's a flag, though. We'll check on that. Getting to Sunday action, the Arizona Cardinals travel to Tampa. Tampa Bay favored by 4.5. I'll take the Arizona Cardinals here, getting the 4.5 points. Tampa gave it the old college try, and Seattle came up short in overtime. I don't think Jameis Winston plays 2 good games in a row.
What's the line?
4.5. Tampa favored 4.5.
Against the Cardinals?
Yeah, in Tampa.
Oh, I take the Cardinals.
Plus
the Cardinals,
4.5.
Yeah, plus 4.5. Yeah, yeah. The Cardinals have been in every game this year. They give everybody trouble.
Next game on the docket, you got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to the Superdome.
Oh boy.
New Orleans favored by a whopping 13 points. Looks like Matt Ryan's going to play. I'll take the 13 here.
And Drew Brees is back, and New Orleans had a week off. Is Kamara playing?
13's a lot. I mean, we'll see. You got to think after a bye week he'll be back.
Yeah, I would want to see if Kamara is
13 points
first.
is a lot.
Yeah, I mean they have Latavius Murray, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh,
He'll be
he's
fine.
Yeah, they 13. I don't like spotting that many points. And that is a rivalry game. I mean, those two teams hate each other.
Yeah, they don't like each other.
Yeah, that'll be a close game.
So we're in agreement. Atlanta
Yeah.
plus 13 there.
Yeah.
Saints win, obviously.
Yeah, but
But
it'll
not
be.
cover.
Yeah, they'll give them. They'll give them
The
a good fight.
Baltimore Ravens. Big win against the New England Patriots on Sunday night. Lamar Jackson really proved his worth. They're going to travel to Cincinnati.
Oh boy, that's an easy one then.
10-point spread.
You
don't like the what do you think about a letdown here after a big win?
Yeah, no, I would take the 10.
I would take the 10.
I would
Ryan
take the
Finley
10.
getting the start.
Yeah, I would.
Normally
take the 10.
that would be a red flag for me, but Andy Dalton's so bad that might be an upgrade.
It might be.
And it looks like AJ Green's going to play. So
Yeah,
that'll help that'll help
yeah.
the kid out as well.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, the Ravens had a big win.
And can you believe Andy
they might
Dalton
go to
has the
sleep.
audacity to say, "I wish they benched me a week sooner so I could have demanded a trade"? Who the fuck is Andy Dalton to demand a trade?
Where is he going anyway? Who wants him?
The Bears? I mean, I don't know.
If I were the Bears, you know
Welcome
what?
to McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, if I were
No
the
one.
Bears, I would have been talking to the Giants about Manning. I cannot believe after watching Trubisky.
I think if the trade deadline was this Tuesday as opposed to last Tuesday, I think you might have.
After
something
watching Trubisky, are you kidding? You're going to tell me that they wouldn't be better with Eli? By the way,
Did they just turn it over again?
No, the Giants just made Dallas punt. Dallas
we
went
got a
3
game
and out.
here on Monday night. We got a game here on Monday night.
I told you the
13-12
Giants were going to give
Cowboys.
them. Told you the Giants would give them a
You did.
fight.
The Buffalo Bills play another dud. They travel to Cleveland. Somehow the Browns are favored by 3. I'll take the dog here. Obviously, I'm not
I will take the Bills.
big time.
Yeah, I would take the Bills because you know what? The Browns are steadily going down at the drain.
They're horrible.
It's like
They're a
caught,
bad team.
They're caught in a whirlpool, and they were just going down, down, down.
Baker stinks. He cares more about his facial hair and having a goofy mustache than winning
And
games.
being on commercials
And Odell Beckham cares more about his cleats than
and
playing
making fancy
football.
catches and making fancy catches in practice.
What
and
a
then
bunch
dropping
of
the ball.
losers. I can't believe I bought into that hype. I feel dumb.
Well,
You had it spot on.
well, you had Jarvis Landry. You have all these me players on the team.
You're right.
Okay.
You had it. You had it from day. You had it from Jump Street.
Football is not a game where you can put all those guys.
Had it from Jump
out
Street,
there.
Brad.
Not with a rookie. Listen, not with a rookie coach.
No,
With a really good coach.
maybe.
Yeah. Then, yeah. I mean, but you need a coach a real coach that's got some balls to go in there and control and handle a team like that. Not a guy like Kitchens. Was Kitchens a running back coach?
Something. All right,
I mean,
Detroit.
come on.
Detroit travels to Chicago. The Bears are laying 2.5 at home. I'll take the
the Lions and the 2.5.
Boy, the Lions, they can't catch a break. The only close game they won was against the Eagles. They lose every close game. I couldn't believe they couldn't punch it in.
Well, they won a close game against the Giants, too, but that's the Giants. So
The Kansas City Chiefs, -4, traveling to Tennessee. Seems like Patrick Mahomes might play. I like the Chiefs. They're undefeated on the road. They got a big win at home against the Vikings on Sunday. I think they're a really good team. I think they're an underrated team because Mahomes is hurt.
The Titans stink.
Titans aren't that good. I like the
they
Chiefs here.
stink.
Battle of New York. The Giants, I guess they're
The Giants are going to
road favorites, even though they're not really favorites.
The Giants are going to spank the Jets.
They should.
Yeah, the Giants. Listen, you're watching the
Jets
Giants.
stink.
Look at how much more competitive the Giants are.
Yeah, you're right.
And the Giants can score. I
And
mean,
Adam Gase is terrible.
Yeah, no, I mean the Giants. Listen, I'm not saying the Giants are a good team. They're not a very good football team still, but they're competitive. They're in every game. They don't get their asses whooped every week.
Then you have the Dolphins traveling to Indianapolis. Colts quarterback situation kind of undecided. Brissett sprained MCL. They're laying 10.5 to the Dolphins. I'll take the 10.5 here.
The Colts are laying 10.5 to the Dolphins. Where's the game?
Indianapolis.
Ooh.
Probably going to be Brian Hoyer, though.
You know what? I'd still take the Colts.
Still take the Colts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, just because they beat up the Jets, that doesn't mean anything. The Colts are still a good team. Colts have a good team. Ryan Fitzpatrick, you know what the deal is with him. He's either either the best quarterback in the NFL or he's the worst quarterback in the NFL.
I'm looking at
every
it Monday, and Brissett doesn't look like he can go, and
There's
I'm getting 10.5.
He's got a sprained knee ligament. He's not playing, but you know what? The Colts are still good enough, and they've got enough talent.
Yeah. T.Y. Hilton's out, too. So
Doesn't matter. Miami stinks.
Okay.
They're terrible.
It's way too early, but I look at it on Monday with the Colts injuries, and they just lost to the Steelers, who I don't think are very good. And
No, the Steelers are
10.5.
The Steelers are now 4-4.
Yeah, but they're not good. Give me a break.
Connor's hurt now.
Carolina traveling to Lambeau Field. Boy, you got to think the Packers are going to be loaded for bear after getting embarrassed like that. -5.5.
Oh, Danny Jones just did it again.
Oh, you throw a pick?
No, he fumbled.
Fumbled?
He
got
the
problems.
first down. He had the first down. See, this is what he does.
He holds the ball like a loaf of bread.
No, he ran. I mean, he ran and he got the first
Let me see
down.
what happened here. Ugh, that's brutal. You got to think the Packers are going to rebound -5.5 against the Panthers. They're getting
That's
shit
a fumble.
kicked. They get the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah, you would think so.
And then the Rams are traveling to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, another home dog.
Pittsburgh's going to get
Pittsburgh +4.
They're going to get hammered. The Rams.
Pittsburgh is a home dog, though.
Doesn't
And
matter.
Sunday night, you got these Dallas Cowboys against the Minnesota Vikings. It is at home.
I'd take the Cowboys.
I would take the Cowboys as well. And then next Monday night, we have a good one for our live reaction show. The Niners host the Seattle Seahawks. The San Francisco 49ers are a whopping 6-point favorites. That sounds like too many.
That's a lot of points.
That sounds like too many, Brad.
6 points?
You're going to be Russell Wilson and a touchdown?
I'll take the 6 points.
I'll take the 6 points.
Yeah, I mean, they'll keep it close.
All right. That'll do it for this edition of the Sports Hounds. We'll be back with you next week talking all things sports. Niners, Seahawks, big Monday night matchup. Probably the best Monday night matchup of the year. Until then, have a good week, everybody.